Hi, what is up, everybody? Welcome. This is the March remote strength training for runners. I've got a mic here, so hopefully you can hear me a little bit better this month. We're trying to work on the audio, but here's the routine for today. So a lot of single leg activities today. The main lift we've kind of progressed each month. So if you've been here since January, first month we did some of the split squats where we would pulse through, do a couple reps, do a couple holds. The next month we did the split squat where your foot was elevated, so it was getting more single leg. And then this month we're gonna do a bunch of single leg exercises and do some single leg squats with a chair. So a nice little progression each month. Equipment, I'm gonna use the band. You don't necessarily need a band, but if you have one, we'll use it. I'm gonna have a chair for the squats, and then over here I've got a broken down step that we'll use for some stuff later on. So if you've got a staircase and a couch and a chair, that's all you're really gonna need today. We can modify things if you don't have a step or anything like that handy, which is totally fine. So let's get into two single leg exercises, more of a warm up. It's gonna be a single leg toe tap and then a single leg clock or a single leg circuit. I've called it both things in the past. I'll demo first one, we'll go through the first one, demo second one, go through the second one, take a little break. So for the single leg toe taps, I'm gonna use my band. You can put it around your knees or around your ankles. I'm gonna go around the ankles here. And then you're gonna stand on one foot and touch out to the side. So the goal here isn't to plant your foot. The goal here is just to barely touch the ground and back. So the band puts a lot of tension into my hips. And we're gonna try to go 8 reps. Count 7, 8, and then we'll switch. Most of the time you'll feel it in your standing leg. So if I'm gonna switch here, I should feel most of it on this hip. So we're just trying to get that single leg activity, get a little bit of warm up with the single leg, get some hip activation. 7, 8. I can feel it in both. With the band around your ankles, it gets significantly harder up in the hips. So switching back to the other side. And here. 2, 3. So anytime we do single leg exercises, we're going to be targeting those hips. We're going to hit other areas as well, quads, but specifically in the glutes, that outside hip muscle, we're going to hit that every time in single leg stance. And switch. So when you're doing this, give a nice soft knee, I call it, a little bit of a knee bend on that standing leg. 7, 8, take a little break. Get a good burn on both hips. One more set, last time through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And switch. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Band off. So hips should be pretty fired up. Should feel good activation there, which will help us for the next one, which is a single leg block. So again, we're going to be in single leg stance. We're going to go 4 directions around a circle and just do a mini squat. Squat, squat back, and then squat behind you. So again, we're warming up for our major lift in the middle of the workout. So again, just single leg, getting a mini squat in, getting some load into the quad, load into the hip. This one behind us, make sure we keep a nice stable foundation. Don't rotate your trunk, poke your hip out, drop that knee in. Try to just look at a small motion. There's second time around, we're going to go 5 times around, and then we'll switch legs. Okay. 4. So I'm not as worried about how deep into the squat. You're getting more worried about maintaining that stable foundation. We'll worry about depth when we go to the chair. Okay, so I feel my hip activated, feel some in my quad. We'll switch legs. So the leg, Go forward, side, back, and behind. Forward, side, back, behind. And the third time around. And fourth. And last one. Good. So should feel pretty activated, right? Quads should be burning a little bit, hips should be burning. If you feel like that's enough, this is one that's pretty individualized. We can check. Pretty individualized. Some people feel like after one set, their quads are burning pretty good, their hips are burning pretty good, especially if you're using a band for the first one. If you feel good, you feel like your body's getting warm, move on to the jumping. If you need more, go through that 1 or 2 more times, okay? Both those exercises we just did are great for pre-run activation. So if you're gonna, instead of sitting on the foam roller, you can still go on the foam roller, but instead of doing that and then some stretching, you can do those 2 exercises, get your body warm in the hips, in the quads, get that single leg activity started so that you're preparing your body for hitting the road with the run. Okay, so good strength warm-ups, good running warm-ups. Second kind of progression to that, so we got our warm-up, now we're gonna do our jumping. So we're gonna do double leg. Since we have a ton of single leg stuff in today, we'll do double leg jumping, and we're just gonna jump side to side. So I'll time it for 30 seconds. We're gonna be nice and quick, just hopping back and forth. I'm not as worried about height here. I'm more worried about getting on the ground and off the ground. So pretend there's a line, and you're just gonna hop back and forth. So I'm not worried about jumping really high. I'm more worried about hitting the ground and getting off. Okay, start to watch. Feet should be a little easier. Still should get the heart rate up. Get a little sweat going. And 3, 2, 1, rest. Take a little break. So again, it's more about how quick you can get on and off the ground, not necessarily how high you can get on and off the ground. Take a little break. About 10 more seconds, and we'll go into our second set of jumps. All right, we'll start in 3, 2, 1, and go. Nice and quick, small movements. Stand on the toes and balls your feet. If you're having Achilles issues, calf issues, arch issues, kind of cut this one short. So we're at 20 seconds. If you got to cut it off, that's okay. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Another 30-second rest. So if you're having lower leg issues, calf, arch, Achilles, don't do as much of this. Kind of go to an amount that feels comfortable. If you start to have some of your symptoms, we've got to stop. 10 more seconds, and then we'll do our last set. After this one, we'll get our handy dandy chair and do some of our squats. So start in 2, 1, and go. Quick, small motions, nice and light on the feet. 10 seconds, you gotta rest. 15. 20. And 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, so got the single leg warm up, got some jumping. Now we're gonna go into the single leg squat. So if you have a chair or a couch, an ottoman, something that you can do a squat to, grab that. The higher your step, the higher your stool, your chair, the easier it's gonna be, okay? So, hold on over. We're gonna do 4 sets of 8. Single leg, up and down, okay? Trying to move slow and controlled, especially on the way down. I don't want it to be up and a pop on the way down. I want you to control it both up and down, okay? So let's do 8 on one side, 8 on the other, then take a rest, all right? And go. 1. There's 4. Try not to really swing into it, right? We don't want to use momentum like that. We want to just down and up. Okay, so I'll show you that from the side. So I'm going to go up and down. We don't want to do this. If you're doing that, you got to raise your seat. That means you can't quite control through that full range of motion. Okay, so if you're, take a little break. If you're starting to use more momentum, swing it forward and back, then raise the seat up a little bit. Either find a couch cushion to put down, a pillow, stack a couple pillows, or you're going to have to go to a different chair. Okay? So, set number 2. Ready? And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Switch legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another thing I forgot to mention, if you put your chair against the wall, that's the safest way to go. Just so you're not doing your squat and pushing your chair back. So a lot of it depends on how sturdy your chair is. Obviously, if you're in a couch or anything like that, you should be totally fine. All right, 3rd set. And go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. Switch legs. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Take a little break. So for this one, generally do 3 to 4 sets. So if you're feeling pretty fatigued with the single leg, you got one more single leg exercise later on. If you're feeling pretty fatigued, we can cut it here and just do 3 sets. If you're kind of feeling all right, ready to go, more of like a 5 out of 10 fatigue point, we'll do our 4th set. So I'm going to do 4. If you need to cut it off here, take a little bit of extra rest before we get into some of the accessory stuff. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And switch legs. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right. Take a little break. So with the single leg exercises, you might be sore later today or tomorrow. So a lot of times running is a single leg sport, right? We spend so much time in single leg stance, but we don't spend that duration of time in one sitting, right? We're consistently going from right to left to right to left. So we get that consistent break. So doing all 3 of these, and then there's one more later, you might be a little bit sore tomorrow. So next we're gonna go into 3 more accessory movements. So the first one is gonna be an uneven bridge. I'll show you just a regular bridge too, uneven bridge and then a front plank is the variation for it. So if you need to use it, totally fine. Bench dips using your same chair, and then step downs. I'm gonna use a box over here, step over here. If you've got like a stairwell step, you can do that. If you don't have anything for that, we can just do them against the wall. Then we can do something similar to that. So it's very similar to what we just did, but we're working more on posture than we are on depth. I'll show you that one once we get to it. All right, so let me move this down a little bit, set this up. So uneven bridge, you can do just your standard plank or front plank. So if you're here, right, we're just gonna hold a front plank. If you're gonna do the uneven bridge, you're gonna have an opposite arm and leg off the ground. So if I'm here, I'm gonna hold it like that. Same sort of thing. We can hold it for a 10, 15, 20, 30-second duration. Take a rest, switch hands if we're gonna do the uneven bridge, or maintain that position. So today, let's do a 30-second hold total, 15 seconds on one side, 15 on the other side, and then we'll rest. If you're doing just the front plank, we'll hold the front plank for the whole 30 seconds. Okay? So, ready? And go. So I'm gonna do the uneven bridge, try to stay nice and stable. Hopefully your foot doesn't slip. And 3, 2, 1, and switch. Ten seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Take a little break. So again, it's 30 seconds total. If you're just doing the front plank, you can just do 30 seconds. If you're doing the uneven bridge, we can do 30 seconds with one arm up, or 15 with one arm up, sorry, 15 with the other arm up, and then the opposite leg. There are so many ways to progress this one. So the front plank can be regressed to be easier from your knees. You can do some on your hands if you want. When you're going down to the uneven bridge, you can just lift a hand, you can just lift a leg, and then you can lift one of each. So there's a lot of kind of ways to progress this one. Harder, easier. We've got to try to find one that's kind of in that happy medium place for you, where you can succeed, but it's still challenging. All right, so let's do our second set. We're gonna get in our position and go. My foot is slipping on the floor. Five more seconds, so switch. 3, 2, 1, switch. All right, 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and switch. Take a little break. So generally what I do is I'll take a 1-to-1 rest. So if you do 30 seconds, take about 30 seconds off, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. For the single leg squats that we did, we can adjust that rest and make it more of an endurance activity or more of a strength activity. If we take more recovery and we use potentially a heavier weight, increase the intensity of the activity, be more for a strength benefit. If we just continually cycle through those and don't take much rest during, then it's more of that endurance, muscular endurance benefit. Okay? Last set here. Back in our plank position and go. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1, switch. Ten seconds left. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. All right. Put my mat away. I'm going to use the chair again for my dips. So we're just going to do dips on the chair. I am not worried, so I'm going to try to do this without falling. Make sure your chair is pushed against the wall, because when you're doing this, your tendency is going to be to slide the chair behind you. So it can be small dips or it can be large. All right, I'm going to probably do more of the smaller dips. A lot of it depends on just your upper body strength and how you're feeling that day. But let's try to do 10 to 12. I'm going to shoot for 12 reps. Take a break. Do that 2 or 3 times. Okay. So For your hands, you can put your hands behind you or kind of turn your palms to the side, depending on how your wrist feels. Some people can't tolerate it straight behind them, so they'll put it to the side. Whatever works best for you is totally fine. All right, and go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And rest. This is another one that, again, we're just trying to maintain posture, keep the trunk nice and stable. We don't want to arch our back when we're doing this, so I don't want you to be dipping like this. I want you to stay nice and stable, moving through the arms, moving through the shoulders. Second set, out, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Take a little break. So if that's good, this is pretty tough. You can call it after 2 sets. I'm going to progress to a 3rd set. Again, taking a short amount of rest here. Upper body stuff, we're not worried as much about building a ton of upper body strength and hypertrophy. We're more on just building that muscle endurance, maintaining posture, maintaining position. So last set. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. So I'm going to put the chair out of the way. Build my step. My head might be cut off, so I might have to adjust the camera here. All right, I'm just going to move this up. I want you to be able to see the floor. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a single leg step down. So this is very similar to the lowering aspect of our single leg squat. We're going to be in this position here. If you have a railing or something to hold on to, go for it. And then we're going to go down and up. And up. From the side, let me show you this. So some people, what they'll do is they'll go down and up, and instead of staying up and down, they'll do this. I want you to try to keep your trunk upright. So that leg going straight down, that knee has to go forward instead of this. Okay? It's going to be harder. You want to keep that knee going forward, those hips nice and level, that trunk upright. So this is going to be more challenging, which just means you go through a smaller range of motion. So the focus here is not the strength. The focus here is maintaining posture. So if we're in this position, and I'm going to do 8 of them, I'm just going to try to maintain perfect posture the entire time. Knee going forward, my hands are here to make sure my hips are level, and my trunk is upright. And we'll switch sides. So if you can only go down a couple inches before that knee starts to wobble and cave in, that's okay. Just go through the motion as you can control. Over time, your strength will improve, your coordination will improve, and you'll be able to go further down. And switch. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you don't have a step, what you can do is you can go against the wall, because that'll help keep you upright, and you can slide up and down the wall. And it'll help force that knee forward, hips level, trunk upright, and that'll help translate to some of these. You obviously have a lot more support because your back is supported by the wall. Not perfect, but it's still a way to modify. So go back here, 3rd set, last one, and go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2. You can see for me, my left side is a little bit more challenged by this, so a little more wobble in my knee. 9, 10, 11. Oh. Good. All right. There's my stool. Good. So, any questions on any of that stuff? That is it. So that was 7 exercises Sweet. 7 exercises, a lot of single leg activities, similar movements, but focusing on different things. One is more muscle activation, one was strength and endurance, last one was more coordination, sprinkling in some other postural core activities, upper body things, a little bit of plyometrics and jumping to go along with it. All right. As always, this will be recorded, submitted. Any questions, you can shoot me an email, reach out to Jared at Movement Shoes. You can get you in contact with me, and we will hopefully see you guys next month, same time. We'll post the date that we decide on, but
Thanks, Spencer. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, let either of us know. I'll be creating the Facebook event. I'll include the Zoom link as well in our monthly newsletter, if that's how you find it. So the same old places to find how to join for next month. And I'll get the recording from today up on YouTube when I get a chance this afternoon or this morning.
awesome. Have a good Friday, everybody.
Enjoy the sunshine.